Let's see. So, all right. So, for those of you guys who do not know who I am, my name is Winfred Burns the second. I am the CEO of Global Drive Network, as well as of Rent a Big Man clothing line, and your money mentor. So, I coach and train individuals and businesses on how to get rid of debt and create wealth, as well as through my network. We have a few radio shows. So on Monday nights, we've got the Woman Cave with Tina Reed and Candace Payne. I had to remember that. On Tuesdays, we have The Scoop with myself, Rashad Chandler, Shaquila Willis, and to Keisha Booth. Hello. And then on Wednesdays, we have The Word on Wednesdays with Pastor Winfred Burns Sr. And we also have Nouveau Exposure Magazine as well under the Global Drive Network banner. No, I am not a Muslim. And then on, yes, so that's it. I'm also in the process, I keep throwing this out there. If you guys know anyone who is interested in doing radio, I am looking to develop two new radio shows on our network. So if you know anyone who is interested, please have them hit me up. And if you are an independent music artist and you have music of all genres that is clean, that you want played, please email me at globaldriveradio@gmail.com. I would love to support you by playing your music on our radio network on one of our shows. So that's who I am. All right, so today we're going to talk about Produce Now. And I'm doing this because I have spent probably the first half of the year talking about strategies to help people get rid of debt. And so I want to spend some time talking about how to create wealth. Because most of us, if you've been with me all year, you should be comfortable with a budget. You should be comfortable having a budget. You should be comfortable understanding how to change certain parts of your budget. You should be comfortable knowing how to clean up your credit report, and even some of the basics of the financial world. But there is another piece to this that is very essential that we have to take a look at. Did you guys know that the average millionaire has not one, not two, but seven different streams of income? Which means imagine having seven paychecks coming into your bank account in a week or in every 2 weeks. So they're not waiting every 2 weeks for the next paycheck because they've got six other ones that are coming into their account. And now, mind you, there are some who have more and there are some who have less. So it doesn't mean that in order to become a millionaire, you have to have seven streams of income. But what it means is that you want to have what we call in the financial world, you want to have a surplus of cash flow. So cash flow is very simple. You either spend less or you make more. So all the things that we've been talking about before fall under the spend less part. So now we're going to talk about how we can make more. And the way that you do that is you become a producer. And not in the music sense. Am I talking about being a producer? I'm talking about being a producer, meaning that you are someone who produces or makes or has a business or a service that brings in money. You're not reliant solely on, again, excuse me, on, you're not relying, but you are not a consumer. You're not someone who is always on the buying end, but people that you produce a product or service that people can buy from you, and you get to determine the cost or the price, or you get to somewhat determine the cost or the price of whatever it is that you are producing or whatever you are making or whatever that service is, you charge that. So, as an example, not Global Drive, excuse me, Rent a Big Band, I am a producer of clothes for plus size men and women. There is definitely a demand for plus size men and plus size women because, like if you guys heard me, I said there's like four places for me in the shop, and all of the stuff there looks the same. So I had the wonderful idea of, since I enjoy fashion, since I enjoy dressing well, that I need to, instead of spending my money on wearing somebody else's brand, then I need to be a part, again, be a producer and have my own so people can wear mine. So I want to, again, encourage you guys to be producers. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys five 5 things that you can do, 5 ideas to help you start to produce now. Because again, you will never, ever, ever be wealthy if you are only a consumer. You must be a producer at some point if you want to be wealthy. And let me say this to those who say that everybody's not going to be wealthy. That is a true statement. But everybody can be wealthy if they choose to. And anybody who says that they can't, that everybody cannot be wealthy, is not being truthful. I mean, I say that because you can't tell me that you are someone who, that you live in this country, in this world where resources are plentiful, and you can't do it. Now, it might be harder to find and it might be harder to get there for some of us, but if you want something, if you want to be wealthy, all of us can put in the work and the time to do it. We just have to be very disciplined. We have to make good decisions. We have to be willing to invest. We have to be willing to do a lot of things that that some people are not willing to do. So, produce now. And I want to, again, encourage you to produce now. So what are the 5 things, Mr. Burns, that 5 things that you want to tell us about being a producer? Well, I am glad you asked. The first thing that you need to think about is you need to think about what is it that you can do that no one, that in a way that no one else is doing it. We all know that there is nothing new under the sun. However, there is a new way of doing the same thing. So most entrepreneurs, you're either going to create excuse me, you are either creating, a better version of something, or you are going to create a better process of something. So there's pretty much nothing new that you're going to create. So with that being said, what your thought process needs to be is how can I make, even though there are a lot of people that do what you do or that might do what you want to do, what differentiates you from the person who else is doing that? So here's an example. Here's a really good example for it. And is you have a ton of people, and I'm not picking on them right now, but there are a ton of, yes, I am kind of picking on people, picking on them, but there are a ton of people who are in multi-level marketing companies. There is probably not a moment that I don't go down my timeline and seeing somebody trying to sell me a wrap, a tea, a belly, what's the little belly wrap things, what's they call? I forgot what they call, little belly wrap things, which by the way, I'm not against. Well, I might be against the belly wrap thing, but that's totally different. And so there are a bunch of people who are doing this now. It used to be where everybody was an Amway. Oh my God, everybody did Amway or Mary Kay. And so, so how do you, as a multi-level marketer, an Amway rep, an Herbalife rep, a It Works rep, how do you differentiate yourself from the next person who sells whatever product or service is? What do you do? What do you bring to the table that somebody else does? Because if you just go up to somebody and say, oh, I sell wraps. Well, there are like 5 companies right now that sells wraps. And, the little belly wrap things. But nobody's going to really listen to that. You'll get some business, but if you want to grow that business to a large scale, you have to be something more than that. So now you start to see people who will call themselves, and I saw somebody who called themselves the Rap Lady. I know a person who has a salon where that's one of their main services. So they have differentiated themselves in the marketplace to not just be somebody who sells raps, but they are, the Rap Lady, or they are the rap guy, they are the get skinny quick person, or, whatever it is that, that they call themselves. That will help them differentiate themselves from other people. Look at myself. There is a reason that I call myself the money mentor. It's because there are like a gajillion and one people who can help you with finances, and some of them are good, some of them are not. But there has to be something that separates myself from Dave Ramsey, or from Susie Owens, or from David Bach, or from other people. So you have to find in whatever you want to do how you do it that's different from everybody else, and then leverage that as you are producing whatever it is, whatever product or service it is you want to do. Because again, it's not anything new. You're not going to do anything new, but what you're going to do is you're going to give a better version, whether it's a better service, whether it's a better product, whether it's better, faster service, a faster product, whatever it is, you're going to give them that, and you're going to create that for your consumers. The second thing you need to do is you need to be excellent. You need to be excellent. You never want to, as a producer, put out something that does not represent well your brand or your product. You don't ever want to put out anything that does not represent well your brand or your product, because again, once it's out there, it's out there. Once people see it, it's who you are. And you don't want, hey, Verna, how you doing? Hey, Teresa, I'm sorry, I didn't say it. And hi, Joanna, how y'all doing? The people who came on late, I'm sorry. Forgive me for being rude. I'm sorry, my mother would be mad for not saying hello. I apologize. But hello, how y'all doing? And hello to my Periscope people. I didn't get to see you guys. Oh, from the UK. Hello, how you doing from the UK? I appreciate you. But you want to be excellent. So anything you put out, it has to be a representative of how you want your brand to be seen. Because again, that's how people are going to recognize you. So a classic example of that is anytime, and how about this? Here's a classic example. Anytime you go into your local grocery store, the person who is standing there, let's call it Walmart, the person who is standing there that is supposed to be greeting you is supposed to be greeting you, who greets you a certain way. If they greet you in a happy way, then that is a representation of that brand. But if the person who greets you when you walk into the store, into that Walmart, is angry and mad, welcome to Walmart, good to see you, you're like, ugh, I don't know if I want to shop at this Walmart, because that person has put out a product that is not representative of their. So we're talking about being a producer and things that you can do to produce something, a product or a service. And so again, so don't want to put out anything that is not going to represent your product or service well. That's number two. Number three, this might seem a little different than, or a contradiction to number two, but it's really not. So the number three thing you have to think about is that it doesn't have to be perfect. As a producer, one of the things that in this new era of business that you see is that there is always room for for improvement. So you see, even for those of you guys who have iPhones, you'll see that probably depending on what's going on every month, it could be every month, every several months, iPhone comes out, or Apple comes out, with an update. And typically, if you read it, it tells you that this is an update to fix something that was wrong with the last update, or to get rid of a bug that was in the last one. So what they understand is that I can put out a good product that represents us, but there is a possibility that there are going to be things that are going to go wrong. And as we continue to use this, there are going to be some things about our product or service that are not going to meet our expectations. So along the way, we'll set the expectations that we're going to go ahead and do upgrades. And it's the same thing in your business. So you can put out something that represents you, and you make a mistake, then you can or should always go back and make it better. Or because you don't have, for example, if you're a small business owner and you might not have the latest and greatest technology, as you grow, you can add that to your business and make your business better. So there are a lot of us who create in some of our business, and most of our businesses, we collect and create email lists. Well, there are some programs that you have to do by hand, and there are some things that as you become larger, then you have to go to a more automated system or something like that. That requires, because those things require money, that you might not be able to do up front. And that's okay, because as you grow, as you get better, you can then start integrating those things into your business or into your service or into your company, and your customers will understand it and they'll appreciate it because they'll see it as a sign of growth. So you want to be excellent, but your business out of the gate doesn't have to be perfect. And I say that because a lot of us don't get started in business because we're waiting for the scenario to be perfect. And some of us are going to be waiting forever and a day if that happens, and you will miss out on the window of opportunity that you have to get into the marketplace, to get your business to begin producing now, because you're waiting for everything to line up perfectly and all of the stars to line up. It doesn't happen like that sometimes. Sometimes, and we talked about this before, you've got to take some risks in order to get your business out there. So it doesn't have to be perfect right away. Number four, and I'm going to say this one till I am blue in the face. Number 4 is do not take any shortcuts. Do not take any shortcuts. You must learn to be patient when you are producing something. It is very difficult. I know that there's all that it looks good, and you think that if you do, whatever, that that it's going to help you grow your business faster. Then, if you want to grow anything sustainable, it's going to take time. You've got to be patient. You've got to put in the work. There is no such thing as an overnight sensation. Any business that has been sustainable for any length of time had to grow, and it had to be patient. And so you want to, and are there those, so be patient. Don't take the shortcuts. Don't fall for the stupid fads in any area. There's not an area alive that like now when I see anything that tells me, like those diet pills, take this pill and lose 40 pounds in 4 days. Like, you see that kind of dumb stuff, and we inevitably fall for it because it's like 40 pounds in 4 days. That's wonderful. I'd love to do that. But it's just not, and then 6 months later, what do you see? Oh, recall. For everybody who took the pill that you lost 40 pounds in 4 days, now there's a lawsuit because you should probably have heart palpitations and and you grew another ear outside of the side of your head. Like, it doesn't work. There are no shortcuts to this thing. You have to put in work in order to grow the type of business that you want to grow. So be very patient. Be very patient. Be very patient, and do not take shortcuts. It's not going to happen. Listen, I'm gonna tell you one of the great. Y'all know I'm in ministry. I'm a preacher. So one of the shortcuts, I'm gonna tell on them now. One of the shortcuts that I see all the time in this area is I see people who like to steal from other people. Hey, Nicole, how you doing? I see people who like to steal. So, and there's nothing wrong, let me say this, there's nothing wrong with getting inspiration from other people's sermons. Nothing wrong with that at all. We all do it. It's normal. It's not. But I'm talking about, like, there are some people who will verbatim get up and preach somebody else's message. That's a shortcut. No, sir, no, ma'am. That's not how this goes. If you want to get up and preach and stand before people, hey, Danielle, how you doing? Hey, Lakeisha, how you doing? I'm sorry, I didn't say hi. Aaron, how you doing? So if you want to get up in front of people and do something like that, if you want to get up and say somebody else's speech, you can't get up and like verbatim say somebody else's stuff. That just it don't work like that. Again, not verbatim. Again, you can use inspiration. You can use other people as inspiration. That's fine. But if you get up and I didn't listen to T.D. Jakes' sermon last week and you don't preach T.D. Jakes' sermon this week, that's a problem. Okay? That's a problem. Be patient and get your own stuff. Get your own stuff. Grow your own business. All right. That was my rant for the night. Number 5. Y'all ready for number 5? Was that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, number 5. Here is number 5. Number 5 is to reduce the number of people who have what I call G14 classified access to. Y'all remember what G14 classified is, right? For those of you guys who saw Rush Hour, it's like super top secret G14 when something is G14 classified. Well, some of you all have too many people who have that level of access to you. If you want to be a producer, you're not going to be able to allow that many people to. You must seek God for His word and allow Him to use you as a vessel. Amen. Amen. Della Major, how you doing? Raymond Henry, what's going on, big brother? So you have to reduce the number of people who have G14. Hello. Is it Mang? Oh Lord, who have G14 classified access to you. So meaning, you cannot have, if you want to produce something, if you want to grow something, that everybody cannot have access to the intimate places of your life. There has to be healthy boundaries placed. There has to be time given for you to do the work that's necessary for you to be successful. And so there are going to be people that you are going to have to remove in order that you will have the energy, in order for you to have the time, in order for you to have the strength, the energy, the clarity of thought, so that you're able to take care of yourself and not constantly bankrupting your energy trying to do for everybody who's around you. For those of you guys who've heard me talk about being careful around who's around your well, that's exactly what I'm referring to. I'm referring to that you have to create the people, the system in your life where anybody who is that close to you has to be the type of person who is pouring into you as well as pulling from you. And if there is not an exchange of pouring and pulling, then this is probably a person who does not need to be that close to you, or at least be in the intimate part of you. Hello. Because again, that is not a place that is for you. So again, I would definitely say one more time, again, be careful who has G14 classified access to your life. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with them. It doesn't mean y'all can't hang out and do whatever it is that you all do. But what it means is that you cannot allow them to have that level of access to you. So, for example, you guys know, you ever have that friend who knows it, like you're in the middle of getting ready, preparing for a test, but they always calling you, asking you like for stuff like, hey, let me text, like, man, I'm in the middle of getting some stuff. I'm trying to get some stuff done. Why are you bothering me? Like that type of person, they got to be moved because they don't understand. They're not on the right page of the book here. So that might be somebody who you do not need to have that close to you as you are trying to produce and prepare whatever it is that you're trying to go. All right, here's the last one. Y'all ready? Number 6. Y'all ready for number 6? Y'all ready for number 6? All right, here's number 6. Number 6 is stop. If you want to produce something, stop being so sensitive. You cannot be a successful producer if you're going to be sensitive. Now, I say this as probably the most sensitive man you will ever meet, but it's the truth. You cannot be sensitive and be successful in business or really in a relationship. You can't like be all that sensitive and be like, you just can't, because stuff gonna hurt your feelings. It's gonna happen. Your feelings gonna get hurt, but you cannot be so sensitive to the point where every little thing always causes and forces you, makes you think about quitting. One of the great things about the process of producing is that there are always going to be elements that are present that will try to make you quit or make you question whether or not you're doing the right thing. But all of those elements are necessary in order to create the type of environment that are necessary for growth. So let's think about it from the perspective of a season. We need seasons right now here and where I am in Michigan and where in Louisiana, you're seeing great amounts of water and rain that are coming down in those areas. And we don't like that because, especially with what's going on in Louisiana, it's causing people to displace. People are losing homes and things like that. But we need elements like water in order to help crops grow and to help the ground be prepared for, ground to be softened and to get the nutrients that it needs it to bring forth a crop. We need that, even though we don't necessarily like everything that it brings with it all the time. And by the way, anybody who is in the Louisiana area, I'm definitely praying for you. I have family. Like I said earlier, I'm definitely praying for you. I have family that's down in that area too. We're definitely praying for you and anybody who's down there. But you need water. You need water in order to be successful. You need sun. If you think about it, in the summertime, you need sun because even though we think that the sun is a great thing, it's also hot. But we need the sun in order, again, for there to be production, in order for the ground to dry out, again, in order for plants to have life and be able to go through the process of photosynthesis. You need sun, even though, again, for your business to be and for you to be able to grow. You need wind because wind also helps establishes roots and helps you understand and get more rooted and grounded in your business or in your service, the area that you're in. So you need winds, and then you even need leaves. You need something that's going to cover you in times, and there are going to be seasons where you're not going to be seen, where people aren't going to hear you. They're not going to know that you're there. You need all of that. But you can't be so sensitive that every time something happens, every time there is an element, every time there is a force, every time somebody says something bad about you, every time you read a negative report, every time you get a complaint, everything can't be something that's bad. You got to, at some point, just say, you know what, man up, woman up. This is the business that I love. This is what I knew I was born to do, or a part of what I was born to do. And no matter what comes against me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buckle down and make some stuff happen. And I'm going to get through these hard times because this is what I enjoy doing, period. And sometimes it just comes to that sheer will to do what you know that you are created and you are born to do. So you've got to produce something because, again, consumers never become wealthy. It just doesn't happen. If you are constantly consuming, if you're constantly taking, that don't even work in a relationship if you think about it. If you are in a relationship with somebody who is constantly taking from you, how often or how long are you going to remain with them? Never. You're not going to do it. You're going to get rid of them pretty quick because you're going to say they're selfish. So it's the same thing. So you've got to you've got to produce something. You've got to be something. You've got to give something back to whatever it is that you're going to do, and do it. All right, that's it. So I'm gonna give you this again. One, you've got to figure out. Uncle Win. That's funny. You've got to figure out how to do something in a way that no one else is doing it. Number two, you've got to be excellent. You've got to be excellent because whatever you put out, whatever you produce is a representative of your brand. But number three, it doesn't have to always be perfect. It's okay to upgrade. Number four, don't take any shortcuts. Be patient. You got to be patient in this thing because that's the only way to have lasting success. Number five, reduce the people who have that G14 classification access to you. You can't give everything to everybody. It just doesn't work like that. If you do that, you'll have nothing left for yourself. Excuse me. And then number six, quit being so flipping sensitive. Those are the six that real estate. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. Those are the six things, again, if you want to produce something. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful for you. Again, everybody should be producing something. Whatever it is that you do and you do well, you should be producing. It doesn't matter. Again, whatever it is that you do, produce something. Don't always be a consumer. Consumers end up poor. Meaning, when I say poor, I'm saying that you are constantly working in order to continue to consume. However, if you produce, then there are other people who are constantly working to buy from you. All right? Of course, I'll come to Turkey for a meeting. Of course. So I want you guys, again, to feel, like I said, if you have any questions, put them in there. Put them on, if you're on Facebook Live, put them in the comments. I will go back through and answer. You are very welcome. Danielle, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Lakeisha. I appreciate you. Murtis, how you doing? Margaret Claiborne, how you doing? I'm trying to see who else joined. Give me my email address. Also, if you guys, so if you're on, Tiffany, how you doing? Okay, I said hi to Raymond. All right. If you guys have any questions that you don't want to ask on here, always email me at Winfred Burns. So that's WINFRED Burns, BURNSII at gmail.com. Winfred Burns the second at gmail.com. You can always email me there with any questions that you might have. Also, what else did I have? This is my announcement. This is the announcement portion of the Facebook Live. Let's see what else. Hey, Astria, I don't know if I said hi to you. Yes, I did. I said hi to Astria. Okay. Don't forget also tomorrow, The Scoop, tune in on blogtalkradio.com. Be a producer. That's right. Definitely tune in tomorrow. So tomorrow's show is going to be very good. We're talking about how to remain married, how to get through infidelity. So if that's what we talk about tomorrow on The Scoop. I will put the link to the show in the comments as well. We start at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And we're going to have a good show. We're also going to have, if you guys heard Radio G, if you guys have heard of him, he's going to be a guest tomorrow. So we're going to actually have a good show tomorrow starting at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. 93, awesome. Let's see, good conversation. Thank you, Tiffany. Yep, and thank you for saying my name right. Come on now, Astrid. You know I'm going to say your name right. Don't play with me. Della Major, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to need you to tune in more often. It's good to see you. I miss you. Who else? I got a couple other first time. I got another first. Who's my other first timer? Lasagna, yeah. She was a first timer. So hello. I'm glad I appreciate you. Depends on how much each person wants. Each person wants it. Yep, you're right, Danielle. It does. It matters. It really does. Again, I'm not gonna front and tell you that it's easy. It's not easy at all, but it's worth it. There is nothing more fruitful. Call you old souls. Margaret Claiborne, don't. You know that cost. I'm just gonna put it like that. So yeah. I was gonna say I miss you too, and I will. Good. I appreciate you. What was I about to say? Lord, I guess I am getting old. Yeah, and I was gonna say it really does. How much you want it, to Danielle's point, because it is not. It's very easy to get caught in the routine of every day and just saying this is all I have and this is all I can do. But there is more, and there is nothing more. I can't speak from a woman's point of view, but I'm sure this is the same. There is nothing more fruitful or important to a man than living in the space that he was born to live in, and it is almost suffocating. I think Margaret and I, we were talking earlier, and I was saying that asking me to stop preaching is like telling me to stop breathing, and because that is who I am. That is my So I think that once you know who you are and you know what you were created to do and you know the lifestyle that you want, you just got to go get it. Don't be reckless, but almost be reckless to the point where that you go get it and find you partners and people who will support you in that. And when I say support you, I mean they ain't gonna let you be crazy, but they're going to help push you not only to reach your goal, but to be a good person in the process. Because you can be a good person and be successful at the same time. You don't have to be like a snake in order to be successful. You don't have to do that. So, all right. So I hope that was beneficial tonight. Again, like I said, rap beats. No, I don't rap. Sorry. I sing a little bit, but I don't rap. But yes. So again, if you have any questions, put them in, or comments, please put them in there. Also on the bottom left, again, that little guy with the arrow, I really would appreciate it if you would hit the share button for me and share this. That would mean so much to me. I appreciate it. And then also, like I said, tomorrow night starting at 8 o'clock, we've got The Scoop. Also tonight in about like an hour, less than an hour, the Woman Cave starts. with Tina Reed and Tamara Sinclair. Tonight they are talking about how we should treat ministers or our church leaders after they have fallen. So they're talking about that and a couple other things tonight on blogtalkradio.com. And then, like I said, tomorrow's a scoop. And Wednesday night is the Word on Wednesday. So if you guys have never heard my father teach a Bible study, you're missing it. The dude is the truth. And I don't say that just because he is my father, because if he was, well, first of all, if he was terrible, I wouldn't give him a radio show. But tune in at 7 o'clock Central Time for that as well. So, and then if you haven't gotten your copy of Nouveau Exposure, it's free. Go get it. It is nouveauexposure.org. nouveauexposure.org. Go and get it today. All right. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Please hit the share button. Share like in the bottom corner. Hey, Michelle, bottom. Just hit the little share thing for me, and then you'll share for me. So I appreciate it. Love you. Have a good night. I will talk to you all later.